It is a Friday edition, orange and blue today. Cecil, Lammey, Andrew Mason, wrapping up our report card grade series. A little bit of everything in this one, Mace, because we're going to talk special teams. Lots to get to with that unit, and then we're going to grade the coaches. Oh boy, Sean Payton have a thing or two to say about this.
That'll be fun.
Here we go, grading guys again.
It'll be interesting with Sean Payton because he's almost worthy of 2 grades.
Yes,
for 2 different jobs.
We will split up the grades for Sean Payton. We're grading Vance Joseph, grading Darren Rizzi, and then this special teams unit. And Mace, I'm going to surprise you today. You're not even ready for this. It's Friday. It's a regular day. You're just like, hey, let's hang out. Hey, let's talk football. I have a surprise for you today. I don't know if you like surprises.
Okay.
It sounds like you don't like surprises.
I'm not a big surprise guy, but tell me what you got up your sleeve. I'm curious here.
Okay. And I kind of remember you telling me earlier, like, I'm not a surprise guy.
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
I will say this, and I say this, maybe you'll be proud of me. I hope you're proud of me. I really have been enjoying the kicking game this year. I can't even believe I'm saying it. I usually say kickers aren't people. They're not football players. Like, it doesn't matter. But the way they've changed with this dynamic kicking, the strategy they're in, the skill that these kickers have to get it in that zone.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll have a stopwatch like you, stop watching all these kicks, but the kicking game is fun. The NFL did it, dude. We have to credit. I'm getting chills just telling you. The NFL did it. They made kickoffs interesting again.
They made the kickoff matter.
Yep.
Again. Like that's the thing.
Fantastic.
Last year in the entire season, do you know how many kickoffs the Broncos returned last year?
A dozen?
13. You're very close.
Okay.
In 17 games, they returned 13 kickoffs. They've returned 40 this year.
Wow.
In 11 games.
In 11 games, yeah.
So they've gone, that's just one team. They've gone from fewer than 1 a game to nearly 4 a game. It was transformative. I mean, because remember, last year was they tried the whole thing with the landing area, but they didn't make it punitive enough to kick it into the end zone. It was move the touchback spot to the 35. That's basically what it was. Make it truly a punishment to have it go straight in the end zone to the 35. That was all they had to do. It was basically you just had to experiment just enough. It's like when you're fiddling around in the kitchen with a recipe and you just have to get it balanced just right. That's what they did. Get to the 35 and then it was done. And now the kickoff is back. Now the only thing they got to do is fix the onside kickoff. And the goal there should be to get the onside kickoff back to where it was about a decade and a half ago when you had about a 12 to 15% chance of recovering, not this like 7% chance that you have, 5 to 7% chance that you have now. The goal should be to get it back to where it was when it was you had a plausible chance of getting it, whereas now it's just a yawn-inducing play. I still think that maybe the solution is going to have to be the 4th and 12 or 4th and 15 type of play that's been floated around.
Yeah, and now that you have to announce onside kicks, that certainly takes away from it a bit. But as I surprise you with my new love for the kicking game, we won't sound like Sean Payton because everyone should sound like Sean Payton when we talk about Will Lutz.
Yeah.
He's money, man. Money Lutz.
Yeah.
That's what he is. I mean, this is A+. This is A+ on it, whatever. It's got an A next to it, whatever you say about Will Lutz.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the, getting it blocked, I mean, really the negative is the miss that he had in Indianapolis back in week 2. I mean, that was a tough
ago.
Yeah, it does. That's tough. That's why it's an A rather than A plus for me. Again, it's me being tough. Sorry.
Tough grader Mace.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Because it did hurt. It was in a high leverage situation. It was costly, but on balance, he's gonna hit far. He's going to hit plenty of big ones, and he's walked it off for the Broncos against the Giants, against the Texans, against the Chiefs. He had a game-winning field goal late in the game against the Jets. He has been cash money ever since. So hey, there's nothing bad about an A. He's having a terrific year, and he's starting to get it down with the placement on the kickoffs as well. Like he's starting to get the hang of that as well. Now, coverage on kickoffs, we'll get into that later on. That leaves a lot to be desired, but that's not necessarily on him.
Right.
He's doing his part on kickoffs.
I'm doing my part.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers abound. Now it's an easy A for Will Lutz.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you lead this one because I'm probably going to look off your paper and copy your grade. You're the Jeremy Crawshaw guy.
Yes.
As I rant and rave about how you never draft a punter, blah, blah, blah. All my old tired takes. You're the one that said, no, this guy's got a cannon.
Yeah.
Stopwatch out, ready to go. So everyone wants to know, what is tough grader Andrew Mason giving Jeremy Crawshaw?
He's had the most eventful season for a punter I can recall. Man.
Ride the wave, baby. Ride the wave.
The preseason, people are like, my goodness, is this guy a bust? And then he goes out there in week 1 and he nails it. And then by and large, he's doing pretty well. Not all pro level, but for a rookie punter, he's having a very good year.
Sure.
And then comes the Raiders game, and the drops were kind of messed up.
Wind? Remember, Rizzi talked about the wind because the wind low and the wind high. The ball was moving before the snap.
It was, but it didn't seem to hurt AJ Cole that much.
Touche.
That's the thing. AJ Cole had some really good punts, and he wasn't shankopotamusing them all over the place. So yeah, that was the thing. Like if AJ Cole had his punts that as bad as Jeremy's, I would say, okay, fine. It was affecting both of them, but it wasn't. So that's why I'm like, okay, well, one of them figured it out and the other didn't. Now, he did do better in the second half, so he did settle down and adjust. But man alive, there was one off the side that he dropped it and it got off the side of his foot, and it was about as bad. I would say it was the worst punt I had seen in the NFL probably since Christmas Eve 2007. Do you remember when it was in the wake of Todd Sauerbrunn, the incident with in the taxi cab, and the Broncos let him go, and they brought back Paul Ernster? They drafted Paul Ernster a couple of years earlier, and or a year earlier, and then they let him go when Todd Sauerbrunn came back, and they brought him back for a game in San Diego on Christmas Eve. And I believe it was his first punt. He goes out there, and this thing just went off the side of his foot. It was like awful. and I felt bad for Paul. He's a really nice guy. And I saw that punt, and I'm like, oh boy, he is not going to be on this team 2 days from now.
It's bad.
Yeah. And because you know how Mike Shanahan would get. And like, lo and behold, Mike's like, see ya. Like by Boxing Day, Paul was gone, and Sam Pelescu punted the last game of the season. So yeah, it was the worst punt I'd seen in an NFL game since that. So it had been a minute, nearly 18 years.
Right.
So But anyway,
The grade.
we're grading the whole season, not grading just one. So
Yes. Yeah. And we had to do the same thing about
okay, right.
the early season struggles of the inside linebacker group.
Okay. All
We're
right.
doing that with Crawshaw.
So anyway, 15th in net average, 13th in gross average. So for a rookie, that's pretty good. He's on the happy side of he's on the happy side of the medium of the median. This is a raw number, not a rate. He's punting a lot, but he's leading the NFL in punts inside the 20. His placement punting is good. He's second in the NFL in inducing fair catches. He'd like to get his hang time up a little bit more. He's 24th in the NFL in average hang time. But by and large, the promise is there, and he's shown the ability to blast it at times when needed. So for the rookie, showing that he can do the job, giving him a B. It's been a promising rookie season for young Jeremy Crawshaw. I think the Broncos have found a guy who can be their answer. It's a rookie season, in fact, to make a Sean Payton comparison. It's a rookie season that reminds me a little bit of Thomas Morstead's in his first year for the Saints, and actually a bit better than that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jeremy Crawshaw 2 years from now very much in the league's top 10 across the board in punting metrics. I think he's going to be headed there pretty quickly.
Okay. I have a B for it as well before. I even wrote it down before, so I've got, got video proof. But yeah, I like that. I'm glad that it was B. I was afraid you were going to do C. I thought you'd just go average, but there's more there, and we'll wait and we'll see. So I feel good about a B grade for this unit.
The placement punting has been very good for him. That's what nudges him.
Oh,
up.
Go back and look against Ariza. What's the damn Chiefs punter name? The punt god, San Diego State.
Matt Ariza.
So I got it right. And then look at how many times inside the 20.
Yes,
that Crawshaw was able to get, and Ariza had 0, I believe.
And you see, Crawshaw is limiting return opportunities, whereas Crawshaw has more clubs in his bag than Ariza does. Like, Ariza has the driver. Crawshaw has the driver, but he's got the wedges, and he's got the irons. So it showed last Sunday.
Look where the drive started for both.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so does Crawshaw have the stronger leg? Yeah, but Crawshaw has more tools. Now, Crawshaw does have the driver, so when you need it, he can flip the field for you. And
we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen it. But there's more to him than that. He's a more complete punter. And that's why he's going to end up having a better career than Matt Ariza, I believe. So,
okay, I like it.
Just my take. Matt Ariza is an NFL punter. Jeremy Crawshaw can be an exceptional NFL punter.
And there is a difference. So a nice B for Crawshaw there. And we're going to do kick return, punt return at the same time here. Yeah. We just talk returner. And again, missing Marvin Mims.
Yeah,
you could tell when Marvin Mims wasn't out there. When you miss an All-Pro, that is a vacancy that you feel on special teams.
Make no mistake. I mean, the Broncos, they had to win a couple of games without 2 All-Pros, and they played part of the Texans game without all 3 All-Pros when Quinn Miners was briefly on the sideline as well. They missed Marvin Mims Jr. badly. So far this season, by the way, among 53 kickoff returners with at least 10 kickoff returns, he's 13th in kickoff return average. He's 4th among 25 punt returners with at least 10 punt returns in punt return average. So he's among the very best on kickoff returns. He's among the very best in punt returns. You were reminded of how electric he is last Sunday against the Chiefs. And there's a pretty clear difference on kickoffs when he's got the ball in his hands and anybody else has the ball in his hands. Now that J.K. Dobbins is on the shelf, Cease, and Jaleel McLaughlin has a jersey, I would actually like to see them have Jaleel back there with Marvin instead of Tyler Bidet and R.J. Harvey.
Yes.
I think that combination can be more dynamic, and I think may get Marvin the ball more often. I think we're seeing them just simply say, we're going to kick to Bidet, we're going to kick to Harvey, and avoid Mims because there is such a gap between the two of them. But are we grading Marvin, or are we grading just the entire return?
I think, Marvin would get that A+. He's all pro.
I mean, Marvin's an A. Yeah, I'm giving Marvin an A because his average is just a little bit down. It's a little bit down. I'm sorry. Like that's.
Yeah. It's an A for Professor Mace.
All right.
But if
we're grading all the returners, I've got to say it's probably a B, because it's brought down by the others. Yeah, Michael Bandy had the muff.
Oh.
But also don't forget with Marvin Mims Jr., he had the muff in week 1 too, that nearly led to a score, but the defense rallied and pushed the Titans backwards. So you got a muff there, and that to me is enough to say that's not an A+. You get what I'm throwing down here, Cease?
Why are you throwing out facts? Andrew Mason, professional argument winner with facts. Shocker, Mace. Critical thinking. Most people don't do that.
Sorry.
I like it. I like it for the returner grade and for Marvin's grade there as well. You said it and you spoiled it. Coverage grade isn't going to be as good. So let's discuss what's going on with the coverage unit for the Broncos special teams.
Yeah, this is where you've seen the decline, and it really, we saw the first indication of that back in week 1 when the Titans got a gift 3 points at the end of the first half. Broncos elected to kick away. Titans brought it back. This is where Darren Rizzi's units have kind of come up short. It's interesting. Darren Rizzi is one of the people primarily responsible for the kickoff return changes that have brought the kickoff return back as a play worth watching. The Broncos are 30th in average per kickoff return allowed so far this season, 17th in average per punt return. So, man.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah. So we got to, this is going to be my worst grade on the team. See, so I got to give the coverage units a D+.
Yeah, me being the softie, I don't want to go to the D realm, but it has to be a D+. C- if you're really nice, but it has to be. It's a problem when an opposing returner is going to be able to gash this team, and in a field position battle and tight games, it's one unit that needs a vast improvement, and they just don't have it there.
And look, they basically have the scapegoat, right? Trent Sherfield was scapegoated last Saturday when they let him go. Trent Sherfield, Sam Franklin, the two special teams additions in the offseason. Sam Franklin didn't make it out of training camp. Trent Sherfield is gone here barely halfway through the season. That too doesn't reflect well on Darren Rizzi, because those are guys brought in on his watch. They brought in those two, and they let someone like Tremon Smith, a guy that was one of the key players, one of the core players on special teams the previous 2 years, they let Tremon Smith walk. So It's interesting that Trent Sherfield, somebody who came in the offseason, they let go, and then immediately a few days later, Sean brings back his guy, even though he's not a core special teams guy. Sean brings back his guy and Lil Jordan Humphrey. It's like, okay,
of course, Sean.
It's like, all right, we tried it your way. Now we're bringing back my guy.
It's my way or the highway.
Yes.
Reservoir Dogs, everybody.
Yes. Sean doesn't know how to quit little Jordan Humphrey.
He doesn't, man. But hey, that's Sean Payton. We're going to get to grading the coaches, including a Sean Payton grade that may make me fearful the next time I'm around him. All that and more. But first, how about we hear a word from RamosLaw.com? Today's episode of Orange and Blue Today is presented by Ramos Law, the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Ramos Law was founded by Dr. Joseph Ramos, an attorney and ER doctor, to provide exceptional care to those injured in accidents. With a unique understanding of both medicine and law, the Ramos Law team is built to fight for you every step of the way. Experience the Ramos Law difference. Contact them today at RamosLaw.com. Okay, Mace, we did this on the fly because we were going to do just special teams, right? Hey, let's do a special team show Friday. It'll be like 20 minutes, whatever. And you had the idea of like, hey, we're going to grade the coaches too. And we should. Yeah. Should be our Saturday show. But like, we're going to do it on this show. And it's going to be interesting because you want to separate Sean Payton as a head coach from Sean Payton as an OC. And there's going to be
play call.
Play call.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sean Payton, the head coach, gets he gets an A+.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
Okay.
Culture building.
I would argue Sean Payton, the head coach, there's a very good case for him being coach of the year. I know he wouldn't get that because coach of the year tends to go to the coach of the team that was most unexpectedly good or great. Okay. So who's the favorite for coach of the year right now? It's probably Mike Vrabel. Wouldn't you say?
Would Shane Steichen be mixing there as well? What he's done with Daniel Jones?
Yeah, one of those two. The Broncos, they were a playoff team last year. Low seed, yes, but they were a playoff team.
Yes.
The Colts weren't. The Patriots were off the radar. Okay.
Maybe Ben Johnson in Chicago.
Well, yeah. Although you and I did talk about the Patriots as a team that could emerge. People resembling you and I did say, watch out for the Colts and the Patriots. That's all I'm going to say. So,
and they're here. They're here, both of them.
Yeah. As teams that could have emerged that were better than people were expecting. So Sean Payton, the head coach, to me, should be a coach of the year candidate. Like you said, the culture builder, the leader, the overall in terms of not specifically the offensive game plan, but the overall game plan, the overall philosophy. He's nailing it. Now,
as a play caller,
it's a little bit more hit or miss. Now, the offense, the raw offensive numbers are creeping up. The Broncos are 13th in total offense. So there's a chance that he could finally get that top 10 offense that has eluded him since Drew Brees' retirement. He has not had a top 10 offense post Drew Brees in terms of raw offensive numbers.
Okay.
DVOA, he's I believe 17th this week. If you go to EPA per play success rate, it's way down there. Those are numbers that are concerning. Success rate in particular shows the inconsistency of this offense. And that reveals itself in how ineffective it can be for long stretches, for the first 3 quarters, quite often in games. So Sean Payton, the offensive, Joe Lombardi's the offensive coordinator, but Sean Payton, effectively the offensive coordinator, the offensive play caller. I think you'd have to say C+ at this point. How about you?
I would say C. I'm interested in kind of understanding and seeing more of his sequencing. And if you remember, and everyone out there will remember and adore the Mike Shanahan days, where his sequencing was set you up, second half, knock you down with a similar looking play where you would change that out route in the first half, became an out and up, and Mike Shanahan was a perfectionist with it. And sequencing is what makes Sean McVay. What McVay is doing is a master class. I mean, Puka Nacua is playing tight end. His insert motions, his escort motions, like everything that McVay does, that's sequencing, where you're really using your formations. I think Sean likes rather than the precision of sequencing of like, I'm going to do this, and then it's going to have a different wrinkle. I think Sean likes the multiple packages, multiple personnel, multiple looks, maybe similar plays, but I also think that alters sequencing because it's not a similar formation with a different route that leads to a big play. It's just so much of a flood of formations, personnel, groupings, etc.
So I think he's still a great play designer.
Yes, guys are open.
I think, that's the thing. Guys are open.
But it's the way you call a game. And to his, I don't know, defense, he does talk about this of like, well, we were trying to set something up, but we got to get out of these 3 and outs. And that does hurt you when it comes to sequencing.
Yeah. And I don't think it's that he's not running the ball enough. In fact, if you really dive into their run tendencies, they're actually right there in the middle of the curve in terms of running, in terms of their down and distance and when they're running. If we look at it, and especially if we take out 2 minute, the thing I would like to see, I would like to see you talk about the substitutions between plays, getting the right personnel groups for the right plays. I would like to see a little more tempo to meet Bo more where he is comfortable. And that's just
faster too.
This is just my stupid old school thing is that part of coaching is adapting to the gifts and strengths and capabilities of your players at that moment. The gift and strength of Bo Nix right now is up tempo. So it works for him. It works for the offense. Just lean into it a little bit more and let him have those opportunities where he is comfortable doing so. So I get why Sean Payton's doing this, but I mean, we are in year 2 and it's still sometimes a little bit herky-jerky. The point I was going to make is that this is a really old school thing, but it was back when Mike Krzyzewski was coaching Duke. This was like his 3rd year, and he had his big recruiting class, the one that actually turned around the program. So his first couple of years, he'd run zone defense, even though he hated going zone. He was man-to-man because he was a Bobby Knight disciple, and Bobby Knight was a man-to-man guy. And then that 3rd year, like he gets his recruiting class, Mark Alry, Johnny Dawkins, David Henderson, etc. And he knows that this is going to be the team that basically gets Duke basketball going. And they're struggling. And somebody asks him, like, are you guys going to go to zone? Like, nope. These guys are good enough. We're going to play man-to-man. And they take their lumps, but then the next year they figure it out, right? And they end up having big success from there. And I think that's sort of what he's thinking with Bo, but like we're hearing year 2, and at times we're even seeing a little bit of regression at times. So maybe with this team having the chance for some great things right now, a chance to win the Super Bowl right now, maybe it's time to just meet him just a little bit halfway in terms of going up tempo here, just for the moment.
Yes.
And not, and then kind of delay playing the long game just for a bit here while you're trying to win a title with this team, with these guys.
1000% agreed. I think Vance Joseph's probably the easiest grade. Enjoy him while you got him. Yeah.
Oh, VJ, you've earned this A+.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And it was, a very nice rebound from a couple of rough games early because it's been absolutely exquisite since then. And yeah, I mean, a defense that legitimately you can start comparing to the salad days of 2015, and feels like it's VJ's time.
Yes.
Now it really does. Feels like it's his time to get back on the horse and become somebody's head coach here in 2026.
And he'll be better second time around. Pete Carroll
Question.
was, Bill Belichick was. It happens.
What do you think's the right situation for him if he leaves?
Wow. For me with VJ, and it's for everybody, but for him specifically, ownership with an offensive plan. You know, can you find ownership with an offensive plan? And I'm not sure if that's Tennessee, because I think of a young quarterback. Like, where can VJ go where the young quarterback's already there and he could go in with a plan?
New York Giants.
Yeah, it's got ownership. No, I know some it's not Woody Johnson.
No, it's
family.
And that's where Sean Payton would tell him, because of his ties with the Maras and the Tishes, and like he'd tell him like, hey,
this is the guy.
You can, John Mara's at the wheel. You can succeed here. You'll have the tools to win. With John Mara at the controls, they've won 2 Super Bowls since he inherited control of the team. Like, it's and that's why, him talking about John Mara a few weeks ago after the Giants game, it sort of has me thinking that if the Giants ask for permission to interview Vance Joseph and he interviews well there, that's one where Sean may tell him, like, if they offer you the job, this is one you really ought to think about, because you may already have the quarterback and you definitely have the owner in place.
Yep.
And in a lot of these places, because he's the one who says 20 organizations don't have the owner.
The Giants have,
but he'll tell you in his mind the Giants have the owner. So that's why I think if the Giants come calling on VJ, and Sean will certainly. And here's the other thing with Sean: he will not do anything to prevent a coach of his from leaving. Like, he won't sabotage it or anything like that.
Right.
He is on the up and up. He wants his coaches to move on he wants them to move on. Like, he views it from the perspective of when he was an assistant coach and what it was like trying to get that opportunity. He's never forgotten what it was like to be in those shoes. So, yeah, like that's why he didn't stop Declan Doyle from moving on to Chicago as the OC. Like, even though their plan, like, he's always got sort of a plan for, like, if I lose this coach, who's going to move up. His plan did not involve Declan Doyle leaving. It involved Declan Doyle moving up and replacing somebody else. So they had to adjust a little bit. So.
Yeah, no, it's good. We'll be rooting for Vance Joseph no matter where he goes, unless he plays the Broncos. And I think the Giants are an absolute perfect answer. Now, the answer for Darren Rizzi's grade.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I loved Coach Katwika. He was always good. Maybe it's because he's an Army veteran and my son's in the Army. I don't know, but I liked Coach Katwika. He didn't seem to have as many special teams problems. And I understand it was kind of like a village with special teams last year, and now it's just Rizzi. I don't think it'll be as bad as their coverage unit grade, but Rizzi's grade isn't going to be great.
Yeah. Look, the coverage units have declined from last year. It's an objective fact. For a while there, it seemed as if the special teams were good for one misadventure a week.
Yeah, you could almost set your clock to it.
And that wasn't the case the last 2 years.
Nope.
It went from a reliable phase to one that made you nervous until last Sunday when you needed it against the Chiefs, came up big. Frankly, Cease, my special teams grades were much more benevolent than they would have been before last Sunday. I'd say probably everything, all the grades went up a notch or two.
Oh yeah,
coming off of last week, and I put probably a lot more weight into everything coming out of that game because of the importance of it, and that's why I'll probably sit here and tell you that the grade for Darren Rizzi is a C from me, and I think before last week, Cease, it might have even been a D plus, maybe a C minus, but it's a C and trending up. And if there are more games like the Kansas City game, I believe you'll be talking about a B by the end of the season.
Well, look at me coming through as a tough grader because I got him at a C minus.
Okay.
I liked the comfort. And full disclosure, I've already told you my potential biases. I just like the comfort of last year. You didn't have to worry about it. They were rock solid last year. And this year they're not. One game, yes. Let's see if that turns into two, and then on and on and on. But can't ignore the early start on this season where it was the misadventures of Darren Rizzi.
Yeah, his unit was just, like I said, it was good for one failure a game, one epic failure a game, at least, sometimes more.
Right.
It's just like, what are we doing here? So,
well, what are we doing on a Friday, Mace? We're hanging out.
Yeah.
Having a good time. Bye week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone enjoy the bye week. Enjoy, doing other stuff or watching other teams. Like,
yeah,
you don't have to watch football on Sunday. You can do other stuff. But they got some good slate on Sunday, including Chiefs Colts. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah. By the way, I wish there were more games in the late window.
Yeah.
I don't 8 games early, 4 games late. I wish it was 6 and 6.
Easy to fix.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of stacking everything. And I just feel this way when I'm watching and I'm not covering a game, but when I'm just watching games on Sundays, I always feel like it's too stacked toward the early games. So that's just my opinion. So, and also because when you get 4 games late and if they're all dogs, it just stinks. So,
right.
And there could be, I'm looking at, and also look at the late games on Sunday. Okay. Jaguars at Cardinals, Browns at Raiders, Eagles at Cowboys, Falcons at Saints. I guess the Eagles at Cowboys may be interesting if the Cowboys show up, but
everything else is a stinker.
Yeah. In the by and large, they suck diddly yuck.
Yes. So you might not be watching football Sunday afternoon.
But Sunday night looks very good with Tampa Bay at the Rams. And then Monday looks intriguing. We've had some Huskies on Monday, some Dogs on Monday. But we get Carolina at San Francisco. And that looks like a page turner.
Yep. Enjoy, everyone, your bye week. And Mason and I will enjoy we're a 7-day-a-week show, except during the bye.
During the bye. Yeah.
Except during the bye.
Unless we want to do a reset and talk about anything on Sunday, like if the Colts lose or something. Like, who knows?
It never takes too much to get us to a microphone here. We love you guys. We appreciate everyone out there. Drop your grades for the coaches and the special teams unit down below in the comment section. Really helps out the algorithm. It lets YouTube know that people like us. They really, really like us. And also, to help us out, Mace, how can folks do that here on YouTube?
Like,
comment,
share,
subscribe,
hit that notification bell
so that you
never miss
vid. Boom. Got it. That is Orange or Blue Today. Cecil, Lammey, Andrew Mason. Follow Mace on all the socials at Mace Denver. I'm at Cecil Lammey saying OBT is a BFD. Enjoy your bye week, everyone. Stay tuned and stay frosty.